Hello and welcome into the Piles of Paragraphs creative space. I'm Lori and today I'm going to continue working on my French journal. I had an idea finally for how to make some pockets for it. And thanks to my friend Chris, I have some materials that were just perfect and right in front of me this morning, so it helped a lot. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you've had a chance to do something creative. This is my, well, other than doing the test for the pockets. We're just getting going on creativity today. Laundry's in the dryer, progress, little things. Okay, so I had a chance yesterday to have a coffee and a little bit of a craft date with my friend Chris. And she recently was in France and got a nice stack of envelopes. And so she gifted me some envelopes very, very kindly. And this morning when I was trying to think of how could I make a pocket for this journal, this idea came to me. So we have these envelopes, and of course they're very fragile. 1917 maybe, and they have letters in them too, which is just amazingly cool. You don't usually find those when you buy the envelopes on Etsy, but so anyway, back to what I was saying. We have very fragile envelopes, but we also have some really cool markings and great color on the back of the envelope. So I was like, well, I don't want to just glue this down to make a pocket. So here we go. Here's the idea. I take my letter opener and very gently tear the envelope at the seams. And so then we have two pieces. And this, of course, this doesn't have the stamps on it and stuff, but it still has the postmarks. It has all this great age. This is also a treasure. So, but this on its own, of course, is not, sorry, I'm bumping into my stuff I have stashed over here. Not strong enough to be a pocket on its own. So I decided to take some modern day graph paper because it's a little bit thinner than the printer paper that I currently have. Plus it has the grid on it, makes it easier for me to line up. So I'm going to take the envelope, kind of gently push the torn edge back up a little bit, and the graph paper will show in here. That doesn't bother me. If that bothers you, keep that in mind. But let's get going. I'll get my glue paper here and some glue stick. And this does curl up a little bit, but not anything that's unmanageable. But I am putting lots of glue because I want this to hold really well. And I'm trying to be very, I tell you, I am not an organized gluer. I always want to go this way and that way. And I'm trying to do it in nice straight-ish lines, so I make sure I cover the whole thing, but while also being rather gentle because I don't want to rip it. Of course, if you rip it, then you just piece it back together when you put it on the backing page. And I debated about using heavier paper to back it with, but I don't think it needs anything heavier. I think this will work. So let's lift this up, bring in the backing paper, and then I match from the top, and then kind of try to eyeball the sides. On mine, it's a couple of the little grid hashes, or what I allowed for the sides, and I will explain why I made it a little bit bigger than the envelope in just a second. Flip it over, and then it's much safer to use your bone folder on the newer paper and spread everything out. That way you're less likely to damage the envelope surface. Okay. And there you go. Here's a, whoops, lost a little piece of the edge, but that's okay. And so here it's glued on. And the reason I have it a little bit bigger, I'm going to go ahead and fold these edges in, and that's what I'm going to glue to, so that the pocket has a little bit of give. I didn't do anything, you know, not a major gusset or anything like that, but I just wanted it to have a little bit of give, you know, once again, to kind of not put so much pressure on the envelope. So I start by folding the bottom, and then I fold the sides in gently to where your envelope edge is. And then I will do this side as well. I didn't get that one exactly even, but that's okay. And then with these folded in, I will fold the bottom up and glue it that way, so that there's not the little edge so much of the bottom for the whatever you put in the pocket to catch on. So there you go. There's the idea, using the vintage envelopes to make the pockets. The pages that I have in the journal were a little narrow because I made them smaller because I didn't want them to stick out. They were a little small for these, so this is what I came up with for that challenge. There's the ones I made earlier. Took some kind of ivory, it's the ivory resume paper that I have in my stash, and I scored it just a little bit wider than the envelopes. So I'll go ahead and fold this in. And of course, this is a narrower one, which we'll come back and do something on that later. And I also went ahead and left my paper 8.5, because for the signatures, I'd cut it down to 8. Oh, wrong book. That was the book I was using to flatten things with. So it's a little bit taller than the ones that I made for the original signature. But it'll still fit. Let's see. Let's move everything out of the way. I believe it will still fit nicely inside here. I'm gonna have any. Yeah, it goes kind of right to the edge, but that's okay. You know, we could always trim it if we wanted to. So, but anyway. So I have this folded. I want to put the envelope down here for the pocket. See, it makes a nice deep sort of pocket. But now what to do with all of this blank paperness? Well, each of the envelopes that I used had a letter inside, and they are gorgeous. Of course, I have no idea what they say since I don't speak French. Oh, that's fun. Oh, this one, it's not the 2 entire pages. This piece has been cut out. Always saving paper. So I thought I would take part of the letter and put, not all of it. Let's see, do I want to do, do I want to go all the way across the other side so that it's there? No, that will work in this case. I think I'll do that on this one. I'm not sure I'll do that on all of them, but let's go ahead and get the glue paper back over here. A whole new stash of glue paper because I dug down into the bin where all these old rejected prints from 20 plus years ago live, and got stuff out for that class that I did on Saturday. And that was well, I'm going to say it was a success. I won't say it was a blazing success, but it was a success. People came, they enjoyed the craft. I had the right stuff for them to use, and all but one completed the project. So, and that's okay. You know, it's not for everybody, and you know, we don't always all have the best days. I was just serious. I just had picked up my phone. My husband and I were going to walk out of the house and head over to the class, and I got a message from the lady that I've been working with, and she said, "Oh, everybody decided to leave the facility today and go out for a day at the lake." And so I was thinking I could have as many as 24 people in my class. And there were, well, at that point I thought none. And then she messaged back and said, "Oh, I have 4. And so I really wanted to cancel. This kind of took all the wind out of my sails. But then she messaged back again and said, "Oh, now I have 8. So we went. We had 7, including the lady that had set up the class. But like I said, I'm gonna say it was a success because I think people enjoyed it. Okay, so now we have the pocket that we can put down here. Put my lid on my glue stick. Let's get the art glitter glue out. Oops. Oh, where have I put the pin bathtub? There it is. Stashed it away again, and oops. Okay. All right. Pin bathtub is back in its spot. So it's interesting teaching a class to people who don't necessarily have an interest in art. Oh, I wouldn't say they didn't have an interest in art. Obviously, they had some interest in art or they wouldn't have been there. But I've gotten kind of spoiled. I'm kind of used to just my audience being people who are interested in what I'm doing. And so they, you know, they already have a little bit of vested interest in it. But it went okay. I got a little flustered in the beginning. And I think that was partially because of the initial canceling, not canceling, canceling, not canceling that I went through before the class. But and then I did learn that when I do it again, I tried to explain too much, and that was not the right audience for explaining too much. It's better to take them step by step as we did things, because it was all so new to them that made it a little bit confusing for them, and then it made it confusing for me because I forgot what I had said, and you know, I kind of stumbled. But that's okay. You know, live and learn. All right, well, here we go. Do I dare fold this? Okay, I'm going to be really brave and fold that page even though it's not dry. Let's get this out of there because that doesn't look very good. I think that looks kind of fun. Looks like I put it on slightly crooked. That's okay. Would it be me if it was straight? I'm not sure it would be. And so just grab one of the signatures out, and I'm gonna do this so this is on the inside rather than the outside because I think it might be a little hard on it, but just to show you, we'll do it this way. So oh, I like that. Do you like that? I like that. I really, really like that. Thank you, my friend Chris, if you're watching this video. I really appreciate the gift. because you have inspired me. Oh, this is fun. Yeah. And it just has a little bit of give to it. So, you know, you can't put a novel in there, but you could put something small in. Oh, that's so fun. I love it. And so I think I'll do 4 of these sort of pockets. It'll be 2 in each signature so far. We'll see. Because, you know, I'm still not sewing signatures in because I want to see what I come up with and see if I have too many pages and all that kind of stuff. I want to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. So, oh, that's so fun. And, you know, you don't have to have a true vintage envelope. I know Rachel has vintage envelopes in her Roxy Creations Etsy shop that you can buy as a digital download. I'm sure some other people too do also. I'm not sure if Gail does, but I know they don't have to be vintage envelopes if you've got some. Oh, if you have some envelopes that you've saved, if you're crazy like me and save the envelopes and the cards and stuff that people have sent you, then you have their handwriting, and that would be really kind of fun to put in a journal for your own use, you know, with your own address and that stuff in it. But anyway, here we go. Okay, I've chatted along too long. Okay, I'm going to continue doing these. Thank you for joining me today. If you enjoyed the video, oh, and I sincerely hope you did, because I really enjoyed this a lot. This was really fun. Give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you like this idea, if you think you'll try this idea, or tell me what you're working on. I had one very nice lady comment and tell me what she was working on, and that just absolutely made my day. So, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We're still growing, a little bit over 700, and that's making me very, very happy. So, once again, thanks for joining me today, and for now I will say bye-bye.